Hello and welcome to the National Museum of the American Indian. My name is Cora Morez. I am a community programmer here at NMAI, and we're delighted to have Sounds of Awareness this afternoon of music and poetry. First up with Leanne Simpson. Leanne is Anishinaabe, First Nations people, a poet, spoken word artist, and a scholar. So they have traveled here from Toronto today. They have been active up there, contributing to the Walking with Our Sisters project, dedicated to missing and murdered Aboriginal First Nations women of Canada, and it's their melodic sounds that I would like you to join me in giving them a very warm welcome.
Bonjour, Kinawaya. We're so happy to be here today in Algonquin territory, or in my language, Omawininiwak Aki. My name is Leanne Simpson. I'm Mississauga Anishinaabe. Our territory is the North Shore of Lake Ontario. And we're happy to be here to share some stories and songs. Our first track is called Road Salt. And it's about a friendship between a deer and a crow. And the word for crow in my language is on deck. Pacing the side of the highway, waiting for rhythm to break, sweating for one more hit before I come out as a fake. Road salt makes me twitch and more comfortable in my skin. On deck can love without trust. I assume that means she's kin. Dawn gets eaten by morning, one leg turns into three. On deck sits and surveys, I know she can't lie to me. Licking the road is its own humiliation, just like hostages first trap themselves. On deck's a bird on a wire, like I'm a deer on nobody's shelf. This is how to die in a war. They insist it doesn't exist. On deck never has the whites of my eyes, unasked questions, unsurveyed cysts. Dawn gets eaten by morning, one leg turns into three. On deck sits and surveys, I know she can't lie to me. The snow will drown without suffering, the road salt still managing dread fear. On deck, hacking overhead, until we're mid-road again next year. Dawn gets eaten by morning, one lick turns into three. On deck just sits and surveys, I know she can't lie to me. Dawn gets eaten by morning, one lick turns into three. On deck sits and surveys, I know she can't lie to me. Dawn gets eaten by morning, one leg turns into three. On deck sits and surveys, I know she can't lie to me. The songs we're playing for you today are from my album, which is called Flight, which is now available on iTunes and Spotify and Bandcamp. And this next track is called The Oldest Tree in the World. And in my territory, in the southern part of my territory, we have lots of maple trees. And so at this time of year, we're tapping the trees and we're making maple syrup and maple sugar out of the sap. And this is a love song to the oldest maple tree in my territory, which is over 400 years old. So I met this tree in the bush one day, and I was thinking about all the things this tree had witnessed. I'm worrying about what you're drinking. You're worrying about what I'm breathing. I like you because you never talk too loud. I breathe it out. You breathe it in. I like you because you hold this all together with the parts I can't see. I breathe it out. You breathe it in. You, 11 times my age. Me, draped in clouds of youth. I think I know what you've seen. I think we're the same, but it's not true. I don't know. I don't. I don't know how to say this to you without embarrassing you, but I do know that I believe in saying things. I do know I believe in the telling. Your wrinkled gray skin is gorgeous. And I hope you don't know what's happening. Miigwech. This next song is about ice fishing. Because it's a pretty cold day here. It's actually 15 degrees warmer for us, so it's spring here. But we're having really crazy weather, and ice fishing is one of the things that is threatened right now because of global warming, because the lake didn't freeze enough to be able to drive on it or to be able to stand.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I'm lying down flat on my back on the ice of Shamong. The wind is water falling over my frame, borrowing the parts I can't hang on to. He says to me he wants to die really slowly so he doesn't miss anything. I tell him I'm not that brave. I want to miss everything. The ice wind is singing a single suspended note with no breath, no phrasing, and a benevolent intensity. He talks about a methodic retreat into the background. In his next breath, he talks about fighting like hell till the end of everything. The hole in the ice is healing into slush, and the line is starting to freeze. I make my inside wind and the outside breath the same temperature. He's reading the signs and forecasting tomorrow. I'm taking inventory of unasked questions, wondering which holds the most regret. He starts the truck, tells me to get in. I say I'll walk. He nods, shuts the door, stopping to wait until I turn towards the shore. A very long time in Ontario ago, prior to colonization, we had caribou in our territory. And this next piece is called Caribou Ghosts and Untold Stories. And it's for the caribou. We are always almost drowning. We are the best trained troops that refuse to fight. We are hyped up on aesthetics and tripped up by real life. We don't have time to feel these feelings, so we'll save that for another day. We don't plan for the win, because we always lose anyway. Caribou ghosts and untold stories, bad timing, smashed hearts, train tracks, six-pack, riff-raff, deadening regret, a collection of old parts. We get these tiny gifts of tremendous, unclouded by past dues. We get these tiny moments, but there's never enough glue. So we'll tie ourselves together with bungee cords, luck, bring the fish, the fire, the new knife. Catharsis is still elusive, so I'll file that for another day. Meet me at the underpass. Rebellion is on her way. Freedom is on her way. Standing Rock is on their way. Love is on her way. Freedom is on their way. Caribou ghosts and untold stories, bad timing and smashed hearts, chain chuck, six-pack riff-raff. Rebellion is on her way. The children are on the way. I should introduce the fantastic musicians that are on stage with me. On the cello is Chris Dirksen. Check out her album Orchestral Powwow. It's fantastic. This is my sister Ansley Simpson playing guitars and vocals. And this is Nick Ferrio on the lap steel and the electric guitar. So a long time ago, there were salmon in Lake Ontario, and the salmon used to migrate all the way through my territory. And there are no more salmon, and there are a series of lift locks now. And so this piece is about me imagining myself as the very first salmon back through Lake Ontario and through the river systems up to Spawn. And it's called She Sang Them Home. Bojo Odinabe Shke Majamegos Nadijnakas. It's been a long time. Oa Odinabe Oa Odinabe. It's this way. I can feel my lateral line pulling forward. Let me taste you. Oh, that feels good on my gills. My Kobade told me about that feeling. She told her daughter, and my grandmother told my mother, and my mother told me. It was better than they said. I've never felt like this. Odinabe, 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 Odinabe. Bowling, beating, birthing, breathing, bubbling, beating, birthing, breathing, bubbling, beating, birthing, breathing, bubbling, beating, birthing, breathing. Oh, Odinabe. I never thought we'd meet. Careful with me, Odinabe. I'm not strong like those old ones who fasted and swam up here every year. This is my first time. Where, when, Odinabe, where, when, There are more coming from Chinabish. Chinabish, Sakatayashuan, Pimidash Kodeyong, Odinabe, Gichigaming, Atikmik Sagigan, Asin Sagigan. Asin Sagigan, Atikmik Sagigan, Kichigaming, Odinabe, Pimidash Kodeyong, Sakatayashuan, Chinabish. Quicker than I thought. Is Zizak still here? An old one told me, land of Zizak, land of Magazeh. Don't worry, Odinabe. Your wounds from the Lifla, they'll heal now, they're gone. We're bringing Pimizeh. We're bringing all the ones that are gone. It's over now. You can cry now. It's over now. We're all going to be okay. They're gone. And there's more of us waiting to be born. I live down the street in Peterborough, Ontario, from the Canadian Canoe Museum, and this track is called How to Steal a Canoe. Because all of the beings that are housed in this beautiful structure that we're in today are not objects, but they're our relatives. Kwe is barefoot on the cement floor, singing to a warehouse of stolen canoes bruised bodies, dry skin, hurt ribs, dehydrated rage. The white skin of a tree is for feeling and slicing and peeling and rolling and cutting and sewing and pitching and floating and traveling. Akawenze says it's canoe gel. Akawenze says, oh, you're so proud of your collection of Indians. Good job, Jaganash. Good job. Kwe is praying to those old ones by dipping her fingers into a plastic bottle of water and rubbing the drops on the spine of each canoe. Soft words, wet fingers, wet backs. Kwe and Akawenze are looking each canoe in the eye. One whispers back, take the young one and run. Kwe looks at Akawenze. Akawenze takes the sage over to the security guard and teaches her to smudge the canoe bodies. Fake cop is basking in guilt-free importance. Kwe takes her off the rack and onto her shoulders. She puts her in a flatbed and drives to Shimong. She pulls her out into the middle of the lake, sinks her with 7 stones, just enough to fill her with lake and suspend her in wet. Kwe sings the song and she sings back. Kwe sings the song and she sings back. If you go up to the 4th level, to the Our Universals exhibit, there is a part about the Anishinaabe people, and they talk about the importance of the eagle to us, which is Megazeh. And this next piece is about eagles, and the love and the comfort they provide the Anishinaabe. clandestine eagles find you in front of this lineup, signing things and pretending nice, wearing professionalism like it's a Halloween costume. And the leading one comes in from behind you, and the tip of her wing grazes the small of your back in an oval that's method and rhythm, like it's all you'll ever have, and she's not going to waste 1 second of it. The second one comes in on a sharper angle and tight circles your form, starting at your roots, rising and then falling. Her feathers are the wind on the hairs of your skin, and she's flying conical spirals up past your head and then down again, brushing your heels, the backs of your knees, the cracks on your lips. All the while, the first one's wing is whispering to the skin of your lower back, while her beak is sucking the burning panic from the place you keep it hidden, behind the sorrow in your breast's bone.
You held that really well.
The next piece is actually a poem I didn't write. It's by a guy named Bukowski.
She fixed it.
Who was a bit of a jerk, so I fixed it. I edited it and decolonized it for him. It's called Laughing Heart.
Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. beyond the watch. There are ways out. There is a light somewhere. It may not be much light, but it beats the darkness. Beyond the watch, the aunties will offer you chances. Know them. Take them. You can't beat death, but you can beat death in life sometimes. And the more often you do it, the more light there will be. Your life is your life. Know it while you have it. You are marvelous. The ancestors wait to delight in you. You are marvelous. The ancestors delight in you.
Hi, you. I'm really happy that you came to my show. My kids kind of think my show is boring too, so they didn't want to come. This next song is from my first album, which is called Islands of Decolonial Love, and there's a book of short stories and poetry that go along with that book. It came out in 2013. And it's called Leaks, and it's a poem that I originally wrote to my daughter when she was 5. Her name is Minawewe Beneshi. And we had been out picking leeks, wild leeks, which are like a wild onion in my territory. And we ran into a really racist man who yelled at us. And it was her first experience with racism. And it was my first experience of not being able to protect my child from the evils of the world. So this is called Leaks. Dirt road, open windows, beautiful one, too perfect for this world. The immediacy of mosquitoes, humidity choking breath, my beautiful singing bird. 5-year-old Gichidakwe, crying silent, petrified tears until the dam finally bursts. You are the breath over the ice on the lake. You are the one the grandmothers sing to through the rapids. You are the saved seeds of allies. You are the space between embraces. She's always gonna remember this. You are resistance, rebellion, imagination. Her body will remember. You are dug up roads, 27-day standoffs, the foil of industry's prospectors. She can't speak about it for a year, which is 1/6 of her life. For every one of your questions, there's a story hidden in the skin of the forest. Use them as flint, fodder, love songs, medicine. You are from a place of unflinching power, the holder of our stories, the one who speaks up. The chance for spoken up words drowned in ambush. You are not a vessel for white settler shame, even if I am the housing that's failed you. This is our last song. You guys have been a fantastic audience. Thanks for coming and listening to us today. This is called The Accident of Being Lost, and I have a new book of poetry and short stories that's coming out in April, and the title of that book is The Accident of Being Lost, and the lyrics from this album are published in that book. I hope you have a really great day. Miigwech for coming. Listen to the hesitant beat. Sit at the edge of the woods. Shape shift around the defense. Ban the word should. Follow that bluebird. Past the smoke and contraband. My frightened lower back. A witness on unkept promised land. Hide under Moya's skirt. Wrap swamp tea around your chest. Fill your empty with smoked meat. Vomit this mess. Weave spruce into your fix. Forget missed shots and mean boys. Tie these 7 pieces of heart. Use whiskey as your decoy. Play by the skin of old teeth. The ritual of giving thanks. Laughing hearts and feeding fires, compasses and riverbanks. I'm just gonna sit here past late. The stars don't care at what cost. You breathe while I whisper a song. This accident of being lost. I'm just gonna sit here past late. The stars don't care at what cost. You breathe while I whisper a song. This accident of being lost. I'm just gonna sit here past late. The stars don't care at what cost. You breathe while I whisper a song. This accident of being lost. Miigwech, miigwech.
Thank you so much, Liam. Marianne, Chris, Ansley, and Nick. Please give them one more round of applause.